Welcome to episode 2 of Artifacts in Focus. This time, Nicole and I begin our exploration of 17th century ceramics, starting with the durable and often decorative stoneware that skilled potters were producing in the Rhine Valley of Germany. Before delving into Rhenish Stoneware, Nicole and I sat down for a general discussion about ceramics to provide a little context. So Nicole, let's start by defining historic ceramics. What were they? Were they the same thing as pottery?
Ceramic is a broad term that refers to any clay that has been baked or fired, and pottery refers specifically to ceramic vessels, things like plates and dishes.
So a brick would be an example of a ceramic, but not pottery.
Absolutely.
So Nicole, how were ceramics baked, and what actually happened during that process?
There's a couple different methods that people have used through time to fire clay. That can be a little less formal and just like an open fire, or it could be more formal where they're actually building a kiln and controlling the airflow within that, and you can control the temperature a little bit more.
Okay, so temperature is really important in determining what differentiates something that's ceramic from something that's not. With regard to pottery, does temperature determine what type of pottery you get?
It does. The temperature that pottery is fired at actually changes the porosity and hardness of the vessel. There's a chemical change that happens at the molecular level whenever you fire clay over 662 degrees Fahrenheit.
The three types of pottery are porcelain, stoneware, and earthenware. Porcelain vessels are completely vitrified, meaning that they are heated to the point that they fuse into a glass-like substance. This requires very high kiln temperatures that range between 1250 and 1450 degrees Celsius. During the 17th century, all porcelains were made in China. Stonewares are made with fine, dense clays that are partially vitrified to create a non-porous, stone-like structure. Kiln temperatures range between 1200 and 1350 degrees Celsius. Stoneware vessels were sturdy and non-porous, making them useful for serving and drinking beer, ale, and cider. Earthenware vessels are the lowest fired historic pottery type, heated between 800 and 1200 degrees Celsius, which results in a semi-porous, unvitrified clay body. The physical characteristics of each pottery type determine what activities they are best suited for, whether it's durable for everyday use or more delicate and only used on special occasions. It also determines if they're appropriate for storing wet or dry foods, cooking over a fire, or serving and dining.
Historic pottery was often sealed with a thin glassy coating called glaze. This not only waterproofed the vessels, it made it more difficult for contaminants to adhere to them. Glazes could also be decorative and were made of different substances, including lead, which is no longer used, tin, and even salt, the latter of which was the primary glaze for stoneware. When we say that a piece of pottery is glazed, when does that actually happen in the firing process? Do you glaze the piece and then fire it once? Or do you fire the piece, then glaze it, and fire it again? So is it a one or a two-step process?
It's often a two-part process.
Okay.
And so you'll do what we call a bisque firing to get it actually like leather hard, but not fully fired. And then you'll apply glaze to it and fire it again. But some pottery is not glazed at all, some of the earthenwares, and they just get one firing.
Now that we've had an overview of historic ceramics, it's time to look at this episode's featured pottery, Rhenish Stoneware. Historically, there were two major hearths of stoneware production in the Rhine River Basin. One was centered on the town of Frechen, located just southwest of Cologne, and the other was located upriver, encompassing the district of Westerwald, which is southeast of Bonn. Here's Nicole discussing the stoneware from the Frechen area.
So we're going to start with the brown salt glazed stonewares, and because these were mostly made in the Rhineland, We refer to them as Rhenish. So these are the Rhenish brown salt glazed stonewares. We have 3 reproduction vessels. And what we have in front are actual sherds that are from our archaeological collections that were excavated here at site. Rhenish brown salt glazed stonewares have a salt glaze. It's a thin, glassy glaze that's found only on stonewares. It's caused when they throw salt into the kiln during the firing process. The salt vaporizes and bonds with the silicas in the clay to form a soda glass glaze on the surface of the stoneware, creating this pitted surface that looks more like the rind of an orange. Sometimes they also apply a cobalt blue wash before it's fired, and you get these really nice dark blue colorations on the vessels. You can see the cobalt blue in this reproduction vessel. Between 1550 and the late 17th century, one common motif that we see on the brown salt glazed stonewares is the bearded man. And it's a molded design that has the face of a bearded man on it. And it's always located up near the neck.
Such vessels were also known as Bartmann jugs, with Bartmann meaning bearded man in German. The importance of Bartmann production to the town of Frechen is symbolically encapsulated in its coat of arms, which was adopted in the early 20th century. Here at Charlestown Landing, archaeologists have actually recovered the neck of a Bartmann jug with its signature sprig-molded face largely intact.
In the beginning of the 17th century, Rhenish stonewares are the most durable ceramic that's available in Western Europe. And it's during this time that we see the height of England importing these wares into their markets. Due to political unrest, starting in 1590, stoneware potters begin to migrate to the Westerwald region.
The historic prominence of Westerwald's pottery industry is also represented in the district's coat of arms in the form of a decorative jug.
And these potters create a prosperous new stoneware tradition referred to as Westerwald. Westerwald stonewares are gray-bodied ceramic that is decorated in various ways, including sprig molding, or this applied molded relief, incised foliate scrollwork, cordoned necks, and they add either this cobalt blue or a manganese purple pigment wash.
Nicole has recently updated the featured artifact display case in the exhibit hall. So come on out to the park if you'd like to get a closer look at some recovered sherds of Rhenish stoneware. And also, stay tuned for the next episode of Artifacts in Focus. Thanks for watching.